Alright, so it's Labor Day and we're home. I'm not supposed to be home on Labor Day because the plans was to be in Ocean City until Tuesday, but the plans fell through due to severe lack of communication and what we're starting to think is a liar. So I had plans already, I had in place for us to have somewhere to stay and everything all set up, and then somebody jumped in and was like, oh, I have a place, and it's a friend of mine's place and we could stay there and blah blah blah. And I was like, okay. So I canceled my plans, canceled my reservations, and you can't get those back because people scoop up places real quick in that area, and especially a beach area. And we were under the impression, all right, so he's got this place, he showed us pictures, and he'll give out the address when he has people confirmed that are going. So it's supposed to be 3 couples going. He trimmed the bush too. He trimmed the bush down to nothing, both of them in the front. I wonder why. I kind of like the bushes.
When it was overgrowing and all that stuff, trying to trim that.
Maybe. I mean, the cardinals.
You can trim that one too.
Yeah, the cardinals are living down in them. But anyway, we just got back to the house and noticed our yard's done. So my reservations are canceled, and we're relying on having a place, so we're making plans around that with very little information. A day before comes, and I had a phone call or whatever, and they're like, oh, well, my friend has an issue with the place. It should be done by tonight. I should know something. I'll let you know. If anything, he has other locations. I'll get an address from him, blah, blah, blah. The whole night rolls through. We were supposed to leave. We drop off Zane. And we get to the morning. It is mid-morning, and we're like, all right, we're just going to head out. So we head out, and still no contact.
Which we dealt with. She dealt with DC traffic.
I dealt with DC traffic and everything.
And Northern Virginia and Baltimore traffic. So.
And the only thing that agitated me was Ocean City and Delaware traffic, because those people don't know how to drive. They don't know how to drive. As soon as the light turns green, you're getting honked at. Like, seriously? My foot needs to go to the gas pedal, people. Durr.
I wanted her to experience that area of driving, so I just let her drive.
They need to learn to drive.
You see why I don't go through DC.
They all need to be on some sort of medication for anxiety or something. They're all stressed out. Well, you're at a beach. Why are you stressed out? Grow up. Like, seriously. But anyway, we head out there. And I'm communicating the whole time. I'm sending text messages, whatever. Hey, we're headed out. Hey, we're here. Hey, we're doing this, whatever. I don't get a phone call until 4:30 or so, 5 o'clock. Hey, we're finishing packing up. We're heading out. Blah, blah, blah. I still don't get an address. And I was like, okay, cool, we'll see you soon. No word. He goes dead silent. It is now midnight. We are sitting in a parking lot for 4 hours, trying to call him, trying to text. No responses. So we end up getting a hotel room.
I was able to find an extremely cheap hotel.
Last minute.
And we'll tell you how it turned out.
It wasn't pretty. Look at groundhog is in that lady's yard. You see it?
We'll tell you in a few moments exactly how that hotel room that I found at 12 o'clock at night turned out to be the best decision we did.
Yeah. And
It had two.
barely get any sleep. Both of us are like hurting. We're sitting in a car for literally 24 hours by now. And, you know, our backs are killing us. The beds were hard and uncomfortable.
And they were two.
It was 2 queens. Those didn't feel like queens, though. They weren't that big.
They were full size.
Yeah, they were like full size.
2 full size beds, because that's the only room that they had. So
It is what it is.
and it was $100 room.
Wasn't
so,
worth $100.
But
Uh,
I'll say to
but it was right by the beach. It was literally a block from the beach. We just could walk across the street and we were there.
and it was at the end of the boardwalk,
Mhm.
so we was able to.
So it was a good spot.
Our car was parked. Once we checked out, we went.
We went straight to the beach.
Yeah,
We walked
and
right
we
across
realized
the
that
street.
the boardwalk was right there, and it was the end of it, and we walked.
We went on
almost
the
all the way down.
yeah. We went almost all the way down the boardwalk,
Like,
which is a dozen blocks.
it was like 29 blocks.
Yeah. We were parked on block
29.
29-ish, 28, 29, and we walked all the way down to like 12
For one little restaurant, I wanted
for some fries.
It's not just for some
For
fries.
some fries.
The legendary
For some
fries
fries.
from Ocean City.
For some fries.
Thrasher's Fries, legendary in Ocean City, been around since 1940, 43? No, 38. Yeah, like 1938 or so, before World War II.
Okay.
So,
And so we went on the beach. We did not get in the water because it was still kind of chilly out. Like, we got up maybe like 10:30 a.m. like right at checkout time. So the sun wasn't fully up by then. The water was still cold. We weren't going to get in it. Nobody was really in it. The beach was kind of full.
oh no, the beach wasn't full.
To me, it was full. I mean, there was like literally umbrellas all the way down. There's people playing volleyball and stuff like that. There were people on the boardwalk on bikes and tandems, and there's little bike cars. And I mean, it was a busy little beach.
A lot nicer than
A lot
OBX.
nicer. But then again, apparently last week there was a really big storm, and the water had swelled up to the boardwalk. And we were looking for seashells because when I went to OBX, we went to 3 different beach parts, and I got seashells from the 3 different beach parts. And I was like, all right, maybe I can get some seashells from here too. Not a single seashell. None. Maybe a couple fragments here and there. That's about it.
Yeah.
Because they all get wiped out apparently last week.
Yeah, we didn't know until.
Yeah, we didn't know until afterwards when his dad said something. I knew there was a storm, but I didn't know it went all the way up that high. So, anyway, it was beautiful. The beach was beautiful. The sand was clear. The water was clear. It was pretty choppy.
That was the first beach I ever went to where I didn't see no construction equipment, like buildings being worked on or anything like that.
Yeah, nothing. So what the guy claimed that like the building had issues and he was getting the city involved and blah blah blah. I called BS on immediately because I was like, "Do you see a city worker around here?" Cause I don't see any. And if he's supposed to be a beachfront and there's city workers around fixing something
And it's
that
supposed to be
allegedly
on the boardwalk.
is multiple buildings, I'm not seeing it. That was what he was claiming was the issue. That he had to get the city involved. And so not a single city vehicle, not a city person, nothing. Place was quiet. It was awesome. Cool little shops. A lot of little sales deals. I just didn't have the money to spend on them. It would have been cool to get a t-shirt or something cool. We did get him a shot glass that had the Maryland flag on it.
And I needed new earrings because the backing fell out.
We got him earrings.
So I got me a pair of Ocean City Boardwalk.
Which wasn't bad. They were like, what, $20?
34.
$30. That's not bad for earrings.
And they're the nicer ones than what I had previously. So
Yeah, they're metal, so that's not bad for earrings, honestly.
Oh, did you tell them about the Bad Monkey place that we went
Oh
to?
yeah, when we first arrived, we went to a place called Bad Monkey. It was kind of funny. It's like a little gift shop connected to like a little bakery connected to the restaurant itself. Like it's a very colorful building. It's like multicolored.
It's like a tropical theme.
Yeah. And we tried 2 different little themed drinks that they had. One tasted like a key lime pie. It was awesome. Like literally like a key lime pie.
And I had something that tasted like, if anyone ever had stuff like the fruit punch juicy juice, has that slight bite to it.
Mm-hmm.
I had something called monkey punch, which was just like that, but with alcohol, and it was smooth.
And we tried their parm crab fries, which were really good. Best fries I ever had in my life.
A little
Pricey.
Most expensive.
But literally, that's all we ate there was the fries, and that kept us full. Like it was so heavy. And that was an appetizer. And then we sat there for a couple of hours, just 1 winding down, and 2 trying to wait for contact to hear back from the dude. But anyway, so the next day, Saturday, we're walking the boardwalk, and I didn't notice I had a text at apparently like 6 a.m. or something. Allegedly, he's in the hospital. He had a heart attack. His defibrillator and it went off or something like that. His installed defibrillator, ICD, whatever it's called, went off. Allegedly. But it was in a text message. There was no phone call. I didn't get it until the middle of the day. Because I had like no signal out there. So my responses was, what's the freaking address? Like what's going on? Are you still coming? We're at the boardwalk. I'm 8 blocks away from my car. We're leaving. If I don't hear back from you, basically. Didn't hear back from him. And so the third couple was supposed to come out Saturday. And since we were already on the boardwalk, I went ahead and messaged the third couple, the husband. And I said, don't come out here. I said, have you had contact with the guy? And he goes, no. I sent him a message, but I haven't heard back. I said, don't come out here. I said, we have been playing this cat and mouse game. We've been going back and forth. We've not once gotten an address, and we're already up here. And we've been up here for 24 hours. And I told him the whole spiel. I sent him screenshots of the text messages. I sent him screenshots of the phone calls that I've made to him and the timestamps, everything. And he was like, wow, like seriously. I was like, yeah, just make other plans for the weekend. Sorry, the trip didn't go as I wanted it to go, but this is what happens when I break my 3 cardinal rules. So, I don't ever let anybody plan a trip for me, because I don't trust anybody to.
That whole situation even made me pissed off.
And now he understands why I have my 3 cardinal rules. 1, I don't like lack of communication. If I don't have communication, I don't like you and I don't want you in my life. 2, I don't like not being involved in planning of stuff or lack of information, period. So if I have lack of information or lack of involvement and it includes me, I don't want any part of it, period. And 3, I am in full control of my schedule. Like, I want to plan everything out ahead of time. It's just, I get anxiety if I can't. I had everything planned out. Somebody else threw a wrench in it.
And my cardinal rules is don't depend on anyone. Do it yourself.
That's right.
And I break that cardinal rule on a daily basis with Faye because of her.
I've proven that I can
Right.
figure
But
it out.
usually, beach trips, especially surrounding around my birthday, I always plan. It's something I do ever since I got out of the ICU back in 2019. And I've had to go and let go of control on that for Faye. And I gave Faye a couple of suggestions of, like, I got to the point I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to let anyone plan the trip. I'm going to plan the trip.
Problem boils down to with our planning is finances and timing more than anything.
And location.
And location.
Because there's certain places beaches I want to go because it's on my little checklist. Like Miami. I want to go to Miami not just because the Cuban food and all that stuff, but if you ever seen
Cuban
anything
food.
like Miami Vice or Scarface, or you played any video games like Grand Theft Auto, Vice City, there's buildings in South Beach that's iconic. I want to go there and see the buildings and all that stuff. Kind of like people do with Civil War memorial, or like memorials for wars and or historical figures and stuff like that. I just think it's pretty cool. And plus, too, I want to say I've been to South Beach.
Speaking of buildings, we saw the Washington Monument and what we think is the Lincoln Memorial.
It's the Lincoln Memorial.
We think it was the Lincoln Memorial because it was behind it.
Because you got the Lincoln Memorial at one end of the National Mall, and then directly at the other end you have the Lincoln Memorial.
But yeah, other than that,
Oh, we did see the Pentagon.
we did see the Pentagon. I didn't get a picture of that one though.
Oh, you can't take a picture of that.
And we did see multiple. We saw like at least 3 dozen classic cars. A lot of them were Corvettes. It was like Corvette Central up there. They're obsessed with their Corvettes up north, apparently.
Up in Maryland, yeah. I told you one day on a Saturday, on a Friday, I did like 8 or 9 Corvettes when I worked at Chevy.
Yeah.
And it was like the 2015s to the 2019s before they switched to the engines got moved to the rear.
But we left the boardwalk and we went ahead and messaged his family and was like, hey, what are you guys doing? Because they're only like 3 hours away.
I suggested, like, hey, instead of going home, do you want to go see Dad and everything? Because I haven't seen him in a long, long time.
It's been about 2.5 years. But he calls them like every week. We just can't get up there because we have been dealing with so much stuff around here. And if you watch my videos, you know clear well that we've been dealing with a lot of stuff. So they responded like, we're not really doing anything, whatever. And we're like, okay, we'll swing by.
Yeah, we'll come down for a couple hours and head home.
Yeah, that was the plan, just to come by for a couple of hours and then head home. Just go straight home, because I had enough. I was fed up. I was fuming, like I was just, I mean, had I been able to get a hold of the person, it wouldn't have been pretty. It probably still won't be pretty, which is probably why they've gone dead silent. They've not communicated with anybody as far as I can tell. They've disappeared. So we headed down there and we showed up at his dad's. And we hung out for a couple of hours, and his dad, is calling, his sisters and stuff, trying to find out what they're up to, where they're at, what they're doing tomorrow, and all that stuff. And he was like I'm like half asleep on the couch, and he was like, you guys should stay the night. He's like, I got that extra room, you guys should just stay the night and just leave tomorrow, whatever. So we stayed the night. That wasn't the plan, but we did. I was already, my back is still jacked up. My back was already messed up from sitting in the car so much.
And for
And
first
that
time,
hard bed in the motel room. And
well, for the first time in a long time, my back and my legs, where I have my skin grafts.
dude, we were in pain. We were in so much pain, and that on top of the planning issue and leaving us stranded in a location that was expensive and all of that. I mean, that just makes me absolutely livid. The fact that I am physically hurting from it, and I am mentally reeling from it,
I couldn't even drive.
and financially hurting from it. That's the triple whammy right there too.
When we were leaving Ocean City, I couldn't even drive. I
It was
physically
bad.
couldn't do it.
My back is still hurting. I'm trying to rest. I got 2 more days off till work. If I go back early, I go back early. I can always message them, but I need rest. Today is Labor Day, by the way. So we wake up Sunday morning, hang out with his dad a little bit, and then we go out and we get something for breakfast.
Oh, tell them about the little game that we were playing.
What game were we playing?
The place that we ended up eating at. Everyone, when we were passing it, I was trying to go out. During the whole trip, every time we saw Bob Evans, I'm like, "There's a Bob Evans," because
Zane loves Bob Evans. We used to have a Bob Evans over at my mom's old house, and Zane would want to go there every weekend because he wanted his mac and cheese and he wanted his hamburger that he could put his grape jelly on because that was his thing. Grape jelly hamburger and his mac and cheese. And now they sell the Bob Evans mac and cheese at Food Lion, so I buy it for
and
him
Walmart,
all the
and
time.
grocery stores.
Yeah, he loves Bob Evans mac and cheese. God forbid that ever goes out of style and they stop selling it because he would lose his mind. But anyway, we kept seeing a Bob Evans up there because we don't have any more in Virginia that I've seen. There's none. So Zane hasn't gone to a Bob Evans since he was probably like 8, 9 years old. But he's still been eating the mac and cheese.
So every time when we drove by a Bob Evans, I'm like, "There's a Bob Evans,"
There's Bob Evans.
and I hate their lunch. The only
But
thing
lunch
I-
and dinner is just gross.
Yeah, the only food I really like from them is their breakfast. So, Faye's like, when we get to, we were heading to my dad's house.
I was like, next time you ask where you want to eat or what you want, I'm going to say Bob Evans. He goes, no. So we wake up Sunday and we're trying to figure out breakfast.
Oh, the first place once we got to where my dad lives at, we were trying to decide, and she mentioned Bob Evans, and I said no, so we settled on Mexican.
Yeah, we had Mexican for that dinner. His dad didn't have much to share, and we're not taking his food. So
And he told
we
us
went.
to go get.
Yeah, we went the cheap route. We still brought him back some like chips and dip for dinner to snack
what he
on. He
asked
had
for.
his stuff, and then breakfast we went out and we couldn't figure out what we wanted for breakfast Sunday morning. I wanted something simple. I didn't want anything complicated.
And where my dad lives at, the Bob Evans is literally right next door to IHOP. IHOP is where
So
we usually
he
go.
suggested IHOP. I was like, I don't really want pancakes. I don't want complicated. That's complicated to
And
me.
we have an IHOP up here.
Yeah. And then he was suggesting this little diner and this, that, and the other. And, it was a whole conversation. And then he goes, well, there's Bob Evans. And I looked right at him. I was like, well, there's Bob Evans.
And we end up going to Bob Evans.
I win.
And I found out that my nephew works at Bob Evans as a cook.
Yeah, how cool is that? Well, we didn't see him.
Well,
As far as we know, we didn't see him.
Yeah, he wouldn't recognize me with the long hair.
I don't think we would probably recognize him either, right about now. He hasn't seen a lot of people in a while. But after that, after breakfast, we went to one of his sister's jobs. And
It's actually one of my old jobs.
yeah, went up and talked to her for a little bit. Got picture of her with him because, you know, they don't really have pictures together. So I insisted on a picture.
Recent pictures. All our pictures are like from from
Years ago.
2017 and older.
So I insisted on a picture. So I got pictures of them. And then we swung by his other sister's house and all her kids and stuff like that.
Not all her kids were there.
Most of her kids were there. She had Morgan and Aaliyah.
But there are two sets
the
of
two
twin
step kids.
Her two sets of the two half of the twins that Aaliyah and Morgan has. They weren't there.
The little one.
Logan wasn't there. And Caitlin wasn't there.
And Aaliyah's son wasn't there.
Right.
I
found out a lot about my one niece, Morgan.
Yeah.
She
can crochet hair pieces. How cool is that? She made me an orange hair piece. I like kind of took a picture of her, recorded her making me a little hair piece. It was so cute.
So the conversation with her and I was that when she found out that I ride a motorcycle, she loves bikes and she wants to get one. Her twin brother, I found out, rides.
So.
I found out that they're a lot like me in a lot of ways that I never thought possible.
So we hung out there for like 4 hours, actually. 4 or 5 hours. And then we headed back to his dad's house. I got pictures with him and his nieces and him and his sister. And then we headed back to his dad's house, got a picture of him with his dad, because he doesn't have a recent one with his dad. And his dad's have been having some health issues lately, and I was like, you're gonna regret if you don't get a recent picture. So we got a picture with him, and then we headed home. Yeah. And we just came straight home. We didn't get here till like 11 at night last night.
I drove us.
We just woke up at 10 this morning on Labor Day. I'm freaking exhausted. It still would be nice to somewhat celebrate Labor Day, even if it's not as planned as I wanted it to be, because we were supposed to have fireworks on the beach. Which also pisses me off that my plans are canceled because of somebody else.
And I didn't know any of this stuff.
Yeah, I had everything planned out.
We do know that one day we are going to go back to Ocean City.
Yeah, it'll be
probably
cool.
Be next year, but we'll be able to plan things out and actually
ahead of time.
Because
I have another big trip at the end of next year to plan to and save for. So I've at least 2 trips to save for.
Technically, that is my this past weekend is my first actual trip to Ocean City, because the last time I went was a fireman's convention, and I was drunk the whole entire time. I was drunk before we even left the station.
Classy.
Well, that's what you do at fireman's convention, is you drink.
Anyway, I would like to still celebrate Labor Day, even though there's nothing going on locally. I've looked and looked and looked. There's nothing going on around here.
Maybe we can afford it. We can get some hamburgers.
That's what I was thinking. Hamburgers and hot dogs, and I have hot dogs in the freezer.
Yeah.
You don't really eat hot dogs.
Well, no, I have to have it with bread, and I gotta have something like either an onion with it or.
And despite the wrench that was thrown in plans this weekend, my weight has not been affected. I still weighed in at my scale at 233 this morning.
Okay.
So I'm still down 20 some odd pounds. My next goal is 225, and then I want to get at 200. Tell
them about how I made you end up in a state that you hated.
Delaware. I don't like Delaware. Can't nobody drive in Delaware.
She said,
and why are you right-hand merging in Delaware? Can't you just turn left? What the heck? It's a light. You stopped at a light and you turn left. Why are we right-hand merging at a turn left? Delaware, seriously?
Now she saw what I was talking about that place.
What kind of stupidity is that?
because all you have to do is just take one exit left.
And the amount of roundabouts that we have had to go through. I thought Virginia was bad.
Or what about the if you're coming off of a road and the turn signal where they only block the traffic to the left and you got to deal with traffic onto the road that you turn, you got to merge into. You hated that, and that's up in Maryland. I had to show you how to do it. Remember?
That's what it's just like different driving rules up there or something.
She's going to speed limit and getting past. I'm like, you got to go.
I'm doing like barely 5 over, and they're doing like 20 over, and they're blowing their horn at me and getting frustrated and pointing and gesturing, and I'm just like, okay, and.
But overall, the trip started out bad, but it ended up good. I got to reconnect with 2 of my sisters.
Got pictures.
There was family drama for a while, but it wasn't me. It was other people.
It was other people.
And
it's always other people. I swear to God. But anyway, so that's all of that. That was our trip, and that whole video, all the little clips, is what we did during the trip. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. It's been a 30-minute video added to probably a 20-minute video or so by now. So I'm putting up about an hour-long video right now, and hopefully my phone has the space to save for it. I'll catch you guys in another video. All right.